Hey girl, hey, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Misha. Thank you guys for joining me yet again. If this is your first time here, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. And if you've been here 2 or 3 times and you have not subscribed yet, then what are you waiting on? We be having a good time. Just check the comments, okay? So tonight we're going to be reviewing The Real Housewives of Atlanta, season 13, episode 7. And I just want to say this before we get into it, okay? Because, I mean, if we're going to get into it, let's get into it. I don't want to hear another thing about Drew's wig. Okay? We have all been there. We have all had a bad hair day. Okay? They have wigs that sometimes are not as flattering on you as they may be on another person. We are going through COVID. There's a whole pandemic going on. I don't have time to be sitting down and getting lace melted and stuff going on. That's why Kenya had that ill blended half wig on she had on, okay? Because COVID is going on. Quiet as it's kept. Okay, we have all, like Cynthia said in her confessional, everybody has had a bad wig moment. If we go through some of the confessionals over the years, everybody had and looked like something. That ponytail that was barely hanging on tonight that Kenya had on, that needed a few extra bobby pins, okay? And wasn't as slick down in the front as it should have been. We could be talking about that, but we're not, okay? And Latoya, you might not want to do that when it comes to the wigs. I'm pretty sure there's a reason why you wear the braids. So let's focus on our own got to be glued instead of worrying about someone else. Now let's get into it. I just wanted to put that out there. When we see the episode open up, we see Candy and she's talking to Riley via FaceTime, and Riley's over in NYC blazing her own trail. And then we see Todd and Candy. They're having a little talk with her. She's saying that she met some new friends. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's cool. Riley is finally starting to come into her own, gain her own personality. I thought that that was a really cute way to introduce the episode. And then we see, after we see that, we see Drew. And she is scooting on down the street because, you know, she had her Achilles. She had surgery on it, so she was down for 6 months, and she hasn't been able to see the neighborhood. Drew, where is your scooter? Where is it? No, I'm just kidding. But we see Drew on the scooter with her husband, and her and Ralph, their relationship is starting to seem a little bit better to me. I don't know if it was because his father passed away and now they're bonding a little bit more, but it seems to me that their relationship is starting to have a more even keel to it, and I actually like them together. I hope that they can really work it out. Let's just pray he don't take no more trips to Tampa. I wish y'all could see me, honey, because I'm doing those air quotes. Tampa, okay? Let's just let that sit in your spirit for a minute. Don't take no more trips. Please act like you got some sense. Please get yourself together, because I love to see the black family work, okay? That's all I'm saying. So as they're taking their scooter trip on down the street, Drew is telling him about the fact that she wants to have this dinner, and she wants to invite all the girls over before she's actually not in the home anymore because they are moving. So she decides to call Candy, and she's like, Candy, you know, I just wanted to extend an invitation to you and let you know that I'm having something at my house. And Candy was like, of course I'm gonna come. Of course Candy's gonna come, okay? Wherever the food is, she coming, honey. Where the food resides, where the food resides. Candy gonna be there. Okay, if it involves a plate and a fork, Candy will be in attendance. I'm just saying. So they're talking to Candy. Candy agrees that she's gonna come on down, honey. And then we see Kenya and Latoya. They're sitting at this brunch, and Kenya pulls out this underwear. Girl, do not bring me no draws over food. Like, ew. Like, what? I don't know if you done tried these drawers on. I mean, they got the tags on them, but I'm just like, oh, that is so gross. It's like Kenya was the main one in seasons past, always talking about somebody having class, honey. You have been so declassé lately. I'm so confused, okay? I don't know if Toya is bringing that out of you or what is going on, but it's gross. And then Toya, being the disgusting one that she is, she smells them. I was like, okay, I'm about to throw up. Like, y'all just so nasty. And they're sitting there, and then Kenya tells her, you know, I was thinking that to go down to South Carolina, we're going to do the jet, a private jet. And Latoya's like, oh, sugar mama. I'm like, oh, my God, child, y'all so annoying. I don't know why you need to be extra and take a private jet down to South Carolina like you flying to the Maldives or something, honey. It's right down the street. I'm just saying. I mean, I know you're taking Brooklyn and whatnot, and you got to make sure that everything is everything because of the COVID-19, but I just really don't understand why you have to take a private jet. But you go on, do you, and be as extra as you would like to be. The producers asked Kenya, you know, do you feel like the other girls are going to be upset because you're taking a private jet? And Kenya's like, well, I mean, if they want to pull out their gold card or their platinum card or black or whatever color, then they can do that if they don't like my accommodations. And then she starts to say that some of their credit is bad. Honey, all of them got a house. All of them have money coming in and going out. So I'm pretty sure their credit's okay. You just saying anything just to say something. As we're sitting here, but before we get to this part, okay, Kenya, look. Now, you and Latoya make it your mission to shade Drew every episode because y'all ain't got nothing better to do with your lives. But I'm sitting here looking at you in this frock that you have on here, and you're giving me very much Big Bird, Snuffleupagus even. I mean, those ruffles on either side of your arms make you look wider than outside. The thing is, when you put on a little weight, less layers make you look thinner. The fact that you have these big ruffles on your shoulders is making you look pretty large. So people in glass houses should not throw stones. I'm just saying. I mean, you may want to get that together before you start talking about this girl's hair. I'm just saying. So then we see Drew. She calls in and she's like, hey, and Kenya goes, hey Drew, how are you? I'm just sitting here with Latoya. Now, what I did respect is the fact that Latoya didn't start making faces in the background or trying to hang the phone up. She sat there very respectfully as Kenya talked to Drew, and Drew proceeded to invite her to her home for this dinner. And so then Kenya said, well, is Latoya invited? And she said, well, you know, I mean, if she wants to come. And I was like, okay, Drew is a class act, honey, because I would have been like, no, I wasn't planning on inviting her, but I mean, I guess. But, you know, she classier than me, honey. She invited a child. So then we go to the scene where we see Drew, and she is getting ready for the party. She's standing there talking to Chef Love. Now, listen to me, Drew, okay? Let me get you together, because I like you. And at first, I was a little iffy when they said, you know, we're going to add Drew Sidora. I was like, not Drew Sidora. Y'all remember on the game when she was singing that little thing, and she was in the dressing room about to sleep with Darren, and she had sung that little song? Okay, I'm back. Anyway, I was a little iffy when they said they was about to, you know, include you, because I'm real particular about my housewives, okay? And especially my Housewives of Atlanta. But I feel like you're going to fit in rather nicely. Now, I had gotten Latoya all the way together about going off on you about your chia pet wig. But now, Drew, this outfit here, this ain't it. This is not it right here. This is looking very costumey. I don't like it. You got fringe on the bottom, an ill-fitted blazer on the top, and this purple eyeshadow. I don't like that, okay? Purple eyeshadow is a no-no unless it's done right, and so is blue. If you cannot do those two things right, then you don't need to do them at all. I'm just saying. So then we see Cynthia outside banging on the door, and she's waiting to be let in, while Drew and Ralph are inside, and he wondering what we gonna name the wig. And I'm like, honey, look, y'all can talk about that in the bedroom a little later. Right now is not the time to be naming that hair. Y'all should have did that a long time ago. Just ask Latoya, she got a name for it, honey. What she call it? Drewisha. So they invite Cynthia in. They do their salutations that, hey girl, and oh my gosh, you look beautiful. Oh girl, look at your hair. And they do all that. Then Candy shows up, because you know Candy gonna show up on time, honey, when it's time to eat. Candy ain't gonna be late for a plate. Okay? Candy gets there, then all the other girls start to come, and then Kenya gets there, and then she comes in, honey, and Ralph lets her in, and all I could think of is season 5, and Phaedra husband Apollo was kind of fine. That's all I could think of. And I'm like, Kenya, don't start that, okay? Because we all know Mark is over in New York doing what it is he do, honey. He ain't a bit more worried about you than the man in the moon. But at the same time, leave this girl husband alone, okay? Because I saw her eyes light up when he was like, would you like a drink before you go out? And she was like, you know what, actually I would. Girl, take your Adidas dress and go on out to the patio. It ain't no need to linger on in here. Don't get no drink in here. Get your drink outside, okay? Then Porsha came, and of course, Ralph greeted her, and he hugged her a little bit too long. I ain't like that long hug. I'm like, all right, Ralph, now, Okay? You being a little bit too friendly. Go back inside. Go back inside. We don't need no help. We don't need you to bring nothing out. We don't need no assistance. We're all good. And Porsha was like, oh, he looks like he lifts weights. Let's get him something to lift, honey. And Drew was eating it all up because she thinking, yeah, my husband fine. Yeah, your husband's fine, and he leaves for 3 days, and he ends up in Tampa. Let's not forget. Let's stay the course here, Drew. Okay? So Porsha makes that little comment, and the producers ask her, Drew's husband, Ralph, what do you think about him? She looking all crazy, and then she proceeds to say, isn't that the question you should be asking Kenya? And I'm thinking, I know that's real, Porsha, because that's exactly what I thought when I saw it, honey. I knew Kenya was going to have something to say if didn't nobody else have nothing to say, okay? So they're all sitting outside, and then so Drew says, I invited Latoya, where is she? And so Kenya was like, maybe you need to call her, And so Porsha just, she just put it all out on the table. She was like, look, you might want to be happy that Latoya is not here because she didn't have so many nice words for you in that wig. And it was crazy to me because as soon as Candy walked in, she was like, oh, I gotta tell Latoya because I'm looking at her wig and there's nothing wrong with it. And then Porsha even said, like, I'm looking at the wig and I'm thinking her edge is gonna be all crunchy and she gonna have eyelash glue, and she had pictured a whole fool. She had pictured her looking a fool about the head. But Latoya is superficial and decided to pick on somebody that she thought she could. And that's what she did. And everybody giving you the side eye because you look all the way crazy. So as she's telling Drew this, Drew is taking it all in. And she's like, you better leave me alone about my COVID wig. I'm doing the best that I can do. And I'm like, I know that's real, girl. We just trying to stay alive at this point. Ain't nobody worried about no wig. And it didn't even look that bad. I was trying to figure out, like, what are you... it was a lot of hair, but it was cute. I didn't see the problem with it. What we should be talking about is these 6 braids that Cynthia always has braided down to that scalp of hers. That's what we should be talking about. Ain't nobody talking about that. Like, it's a lot of bad hair up and through this season. We just trying to make it through it, okay? We as fans are not that pleased. Y'all hair ain't right. Y'all scenes ain't right. Let's just be quiet. Let's everybody just be quiet and get along. How about we do that? So Porsha was like, well, it wasn't just me. Candy and Cynthia were there as well. And Candy sitting there looking like, who said that? No, I'm just kidding. Candy sitting there looking like, girl, don't put me in there because Candy don't like to be in nothing, honey. And Cynthia sitting over there like, oh, Lord, honey, this is the cookie lady all over again. Because, Cynthia don't like to be thrown under no bus. She don't like that. And, Cynthia is the one that brought Drew to the group. So the fact that she was sitting there, listening and in company with Latoya as Latoya talked about her, that kind of looked like Cynthia playing in her face. And that ain't cute. So Cynthia was like, oh, Porsha just threw the whole shade tree right down on the table. Yes, she did. If something's wrong with the girl's wig, just say that to her. But quite frankly, there was nothing wrong with that girl's wig, honey. They just wanted something to talk about. Latoya ain't got no storyline. And I guess she do it all on YouTube, honey. I don't know. But all I know is it wasn't nothing wrong with that girl's wig. So we sit down at the table. And this scene right here reminds me of the Housewives of Potomac when Candace pulled that knife on Ashley. And I was just sitting here thinking, like, this is exactly what this scene reminds me of. So Drew was talking about her mom and how her mom is writing her sermon and getting ready for that, and that Ralph plays an instrument and that she sings praise and worship. So Porsha was like, oh, your mom's a minister? She's like, yeah, she's a pastor. And Kenya said, well, where? And she said, in Chicago. So Kenya said, oh, I want to hear you sing a little something. And Drew was like, oh, really? Child, why Cynthia got ready to pull out that phone, honey, and record her? All I could think of when I seen her was, how those mamas be like, do that little TikTok dance you like to do. Show them how you do that TikTok dance. Cynthia, if you don't put that phone up, it's being recorded. You guys are on a show. What the? Child, oh, Cynthia's so pretty though, child. Ooh. I'm like, yo, my girl, you ain't got the sense God gave a goose. So then if you ask a black girl to sing, the first thing we gonna sing is Amazing Grace. Won't he do it? Child, Drew, Amazing Grace. Go on, Drew, harmonize that Amazing Grace. But baby, Porsha was not gonna let her shine, honey. Them producers panned all the way back to season 5 reunion when Porsha got her Amazing Grace song on, honey. Remember when Porsha said she was a mix between Beyonce and Mary J? Porsha was like, I did it first. I'm like, I know that's right, girl. You better stake your claim. So they're sitting there and they're talking, and then then Kenya tells Candy, okay, everybody's going to meet at your house to get on the Sprinter so they can go to South Carolina. So Drew, honey, now Kenya had told Drew, and I was wondering, like, why would you tell Drew of all people that you're going to get a private jet? Like, that didn't even make sense. When she was sitting there at the brunch with Latoya, she told Drew that she was going to get a private jet. Like, why would you tell her? You just was shaming the girl 3 or 4 weeks ago, and now you're telling her that you're going to get a private jet, and then you send her a text message telling her not to tell anybody because you don't want the girls to be in their feelings. And I was thinking, why didn't you invite your good sis? I mean, you and Cynthia are besties. Because back in season 8, when Cynthia was being Kung Fu Panda, you let the whole boat know on Lake Lanier that you and Cynthia were indeed best friends. But of course, Cynthia said she was just still getting to know you, honey. But you did let them know that y'all were best friends. So I was kind of confused as to why you wouldn't invite her. But then I also thought, okay, because Cynthia later said, well, I'm going to be there later because I have business. So I was thinking, well, maybe she invited Cynthia off camera, and she knew Cynthia wasn't going to be able to be in attendance. So maybe that's why she just asked Latoya, and that's the part that we saw, because, you know, the producer's been doing shady stuff all season. So I don't want to just jump to conclusions and assume that she didn't invite her, but it's looking a little sketch, okay? So then Drew says, well, we're all going to be in the Sprinter together, right? And Kenya's like, no, we're going ahead. And she's like, oh, well, it's COVID, so how are y'all getting there? And then Kenya going to have enough nerve to say Drew is sneaky. Girl, what is sneaky is you planning to go on a private jet and then telling her not to tell nobody. How were they going to think you got there? You clicked your heels 3 times and appeared in South Carolina? Girl, shut up. Ugh. You are on a TV show. I don't know why y'all think is the TV show invisible when it comes to your scene or what? Child, y'all get on my nerves with the stupidity. So then we see Cynthia and Noelle having a conversation. No matter how old Noelle gets, I still see her as that little girl who didn't have her edges slicked down. I don't know. She just always seems like a baby to me. I don't know why. Even though she's a grown woman now, I just always see her as just a young lady. So then we see Porsha talking about what she's going to do with Poo Poo. She's on the phone with Mama Diane, and she's trying to figure out what she's going to do as far as co-parenting is concerned with her daughter for an entire week. She said that, of course, Dennis always steps up to the plate. He takes her to school sometime. So Mama Diane just needs to step in whenever she can, because she's going to be seeing the other side of her family as well. And then we go over to Drew. No, before we go to Drew, we go to Candy, honey. And Todd and told her she getting Megan Thee Stallion thick, honey. And that's all she needed to hear, okay? And then we're over to Drew. So now that we're over to Drew, Drew is trying on different outfits, trying to see what she's going to wear. And Drew, listen to me, okay? Because I had just gave this disclaimer in the beginning of my review. Now, I done gave you a pass. Now, I've been on your team this entire season. Now, don't make me have to switch over and be with Latoya. I don't want to be with Latoya. But that wig that you have on in this scene, as you're trying on your clothes for Ralph, and then you try to like dip it, drop it low and pick it up slow, but you couldn't quite drop it because you're still healing. That wig is atrocious. Throw that wig in the trash, honey. Don't wear that wig no more. Be glad the girls didn't see that wig, okay? Throw that wig away, because we still got time to prove that we can get this hair right, okay? So throw that wig in the trash. We don't want to see that wig no more, okay? Moving forward. Then we see Kenya and Latoya. They're getting ready. The car service is there. They're putting all their luggage in the car, and they're getting ready to go. And so as they get in the car, Kenya is telling Latoya that Porsha was being messy and, trying to tell Drew what Latoya said. Kenya, ain't that the pot calling the kettle? Because if I recall, as we're riding season 8 to the home in Miami when y'all took that trip, you proceeded to let Sheree know that girl with the braids straight to the back, I forgot her name. I can't remember her name, but y'all know who I'm talking about. She was Cynthia's friend, Tammy. You proceeded to let her know that Tammy had been talking about you being a gold digger in the car on the way here. So how is that any different? Okay? She's just putting it out on the table. It was said, so let's just bring it to light. Okay? So how is that being messy? You just want to cause a conflict. And you don't want that girl to come for Porsha. That ain't what she wants. Okay, you might want to. Now you done already got a taste, so just let it be, girl. Don't start no drama. Won't be no drama. Don't start none. Won't be none. Okay, as Candy would say. Then we see the girls getting ready to go, and now Candy is there standing on the patio with baby Blaze, and then Porsha pulls up with Shamia and Dennis in tow. Listen here, Porsha. If you want to get back with Dennis, honey, get back with Dennis. I'm all for y'all getting back together. It don't matter if y'all gonna be together, then be together. It's quite all right. It's quite all right. And I saw you doing your meditation, in the scene in the very beginning when the episode first started. Porsha was like, on them hoes, okay? Because she got to figure out if her and Dennis going to co-parent or be together tomorrow night after the Hennessy. Whenever they going to be together is whenever they going to be together. So if you want to keep your family together, Porsha, you do that, okay? Don't let nobody shame you into not taking your baby daddy if he's doing the work, honey. Okay, because quiet as it's kept y'all back together, child. Whatever. So they're waiting on everybody to get there, and then Tanya shows up, and then here comes Marlo, honey. Marlo got her whole hazmat suit on. I do not blame you. I have a whole COVID bubble. You will not get in, and you will not get out. Once you enter into this home, you are to strip down from head to toe, okay? I am not going to let my chest close up, and I do not blame Marlo. So Marlo comes dripped in she has a different kind of drip going on today, honey, from head to toe, gloves and all. So she comes with her Clorox wipes, and she's ready to wipe down the bus, because this is my thing. This is public transportation. Other people have ridden on this bus, and you don't know how these people clean. I would have to go back and do a double clean too. This disease killing people, honey. This ain't nothing to play with. They're on the bus, and it's very reminiscent of when they all went down to Savannah, and Candy had to get Kenya all the way together because the girls was late, honey. I'm always give y'all a reference of seasons past. That's just part of my review. So this part reminds me of when they were on the bus there, and this group is obsessed with girl on girl action. I mean, they're like, have you had a threesome? I mean, have you kissed a girl and have you liked it? I mean, like, dang, we get it, okay? Y'all, like, okay, we got it. And then Candy was like, yeah, we've had a threesome, but they have to sign an NDA. And I'm like, girl, I mean, ain't no telling who you done got it popping with. We would never know, huh? Now that Candy, a businesswoman, even in the bedroom, child. She like, now y'all gonna sign some NDAs. Of course, Porsha finally admits, and she's like, yeah, I have. I'm like, okay, so you think it's cooler to say it now? Of course, here go Tanya talking about depends on the holiday. No, I'm just kidding. So she was like, child, whatever on that. And then they go over to, of course, Drew said no as well. Then they go over to the jet. You see Latoya and Kenya exiting, honey, and they're living their best lives. And now Kenya can finally shine without interruption from Nene, honey. She can finally be the queen uninterrupted. Because, as soon as Kenya started getting her shine on, Nene would just pop out of nowhere, child. Like season 8, for example. Kenya just knew her and Cynthia were the best of friends, child. Then all of a sudden, they went to Jamaica and Nene popped out of nowhere. Hello, hello, hello. And Kenya was like, ain't this about a bit? Child, Cynthia had just said her and the girl didn't really even know each other. Child, she completely disowned Kenya when Nene stepped on the scene. But now that we have no chance of Nene ever returning, Kenya can finally shine in all her glory, child. So they're riding on down the street, and it's a sweat box. They're sweating. It's hot as I don't know what in there. They talking, and this bus ride is now turning into a 4-hour drive. We see Kenya and Latoya, they've made it to South Carolina. They're passing out the room assignments. So of course, Kenya real shady. She give Marlo something that look like a cot, honey. And then she starts putting their names on their beds, letting each person know where they will be for the duration of this trip. After that, we pan back to the bus. There's a little more cackling going on. And then that is the end of the scene. And that's the end of the episode. And next week, we will see Drew get into it with somebody. I don't know who it is now. I can't tell you. But I know that it's going to be some furniture rearranging going on. Because Drew letting them know, honey, I'm from the Shy. This ain't what you want. And I really think she has to be talking to Toya. Because, who else would she be talking to? But I did see Kenya standing right there, so she might be talking to Kenya. I don't know. All I know is it's going to be a whole fight. I want to see how it's going to pan out. I want to see how it's doing. This episode picked up a little bit of steam, so I think next episode is going to be even better, and then I think it's going to pick up momentum from there. So I'm pretty excited about that. So let's just see how this works out. But anyway, that's all I have for you guys tonight. I hope you enjoyed this review. Please don't hesitate to comment down below and tell me if I missed something. What do you think? Do you think Drew is a good new addition to this group, especially since she's had a group scene and she kind of shaded Kenya a little bit? Oh, that's what I wanted to tell y'all. In the scene where she was at, when Kenya was at Drew's house, did you notice her change in behavior? She don't act a fool when she's not with Latoya. She treated Drew with respect. Even after Drew shaded her a little bit, she still treated her with respect. So I feel like she's just acting out and following the leader at this point. And Kenya, you are too big for that. Okay? I just want to leave y'all with that. Kenya, you too old for that. Cut it out. And happy birthday. All right. So I hope you guys like, subscribe, comment down below. Share this with a friend. I love to read your comments. I will always respond, honey. Even when I blow up, she'll wait. I'm still going to respond because I love all of y'all and thank you for your time even watching this. As always, stay safe, stay blessed, spread love, not germs. Peace.